guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about these new Milani palettes that came out. When I saw them, I just knew I had to have them. They are gorgeous, beautiful, and so I went ahead, placed an order on the Milani website, and these palettes, they came packaged, sent to me in a box like this, nicely bubble wrapped, and it has a little saying in the box. It says the best part of every day starts with makeup. I don't know about that, might be coffee. But it comes packaged in this nice little box, and they also sent me a free sample that I wasn't expecting. They sent me a free sample of their Make It Last setting spray, so I was really excited to get that because this is my favorite setting spray. But I'll just show you. This is what the boxes this is what the boxes look like for the palettes. So it's really pretty gold boxes, and they're not large palettes, you know, but they're a decent sized palette. These palettes cost $20 a piece, and honestly, after using them, I think it's worth it. I think the quality of the palettes is worth $20, even though that's a little bit pricey for a drugstore brand. This is what the actual palettes look like when you take them out of the box. They are gorgeous, beautiful gold packaging. This one is the Most Loved Mattes, and this one is the Bold Obsessions palette. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the Most Loved Mattes. So as you can see in this palette, you do get a gorgeous mirror in this palette, full size of the palette, and these are the shades in the matte palette. So it's some very nice warm shades. It's like a really earthy toned palette, I think. But you can really create some nice looks with this palette. So that is the Most Loved Mattes palette. This is the Bold Obsessions palette. They're exactly alike, they just have their name on the cover of the palette. So as you can see, this one has a full-size mirror inside of the palette as well. And these are the colors that are in the Bold Obsessions palette. So as you can see, I've already been using it for this look today, but there's a really beautiful, kind of like a grayish blue color in there, some nice gold shimmers and peachy shimmers, as well as some earth tones as well. So this palette has some beautiful shades, but it also includes some beautiful shimmer shadows as well. Now, both palettes have the names of the shadows on the back, as well as directions for how to use them, and just kind of like a brief description of the palette. So for the Bold Obsessions palette, it says Bold Obsessions palette takes you from sunrise to nightfall with color saturated mattes and metallics. So as you can see, there are 12 shades in this palette. Very pretty. And these palettes are very nicely constructed. It's a nice hard plastic, so very sturdy. And so on the Most Loved Mattes palette, it says Most Loved Mattes palette takes you from daytime to playtime with rich buildable neutrals. So this is definitely a neutral type palette, but it's nice and warm. So that is what the back of that palette looks like. So like I said, I did order these from the Milani website, and they came very quickly. Actually, I ordered them and they showed up maybe about 3 days later, so I was nicely surprised about the timing of the shipment. Now, I wanted to go ahead and do a few swatches on these palettes so that you can get an idea of what these shadows look like. Like I said, I did create this look today using these palettes. I used both of the palettes to create this look. So if you'd like to see that, that is later on in the video. But I want to go ahead and do a few swatches. So I'm going to start off with the Most Loved Mattes palette. And I'm just going to go down each row. So those are swatches from the first row in the matte palette. Okay, and this is the second row. So those are swatches for the second row from this palette. Sorry about the crazy swatches, but those are swatches from the last row in this. And so this is what the palette looks like once again. Very, very pretty, nice mattes to work with. So now I'm just going to go ahead and swatch the Bold Obsessions palette in the same way. I'm just going to go each row downward. So that's the first row in the Bold Obsessions palette. That's the second row from the Bold Obsessions palette. And that is the last row in the Bold Obsessions palette. So as you can see, that very, very pretty blue color as well as a matte black. So that is the last row. And once again, this is what that palette looks like. Okay, you guys, so now that I've gone through those swatches, I'm just going to do a brief tutorial on this look that I created here using both of these palettes. So if you'd like to see how I created this look, stay tuned because that's coming up next. Hi guys, okay, so I'm just going to jump right into this tutorial. So I'm going to start out by cleaning up my eyebrows. I'm filling them in with my Bella Pierre Stay Put Brow Gel, and this is in the color Licorice. I'm also cleaning up my eyebrows with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and this is in the color Fawn. And I'm just using that to make my eyebrows look even neater by lining them with that concealer. I'm also using this concealer to set my eyelids today. So I'm just placing it all over my eyelids and blending it out. And I'm going to set that concealer with my e.l.f. Perfect Finish HD powder so that I can prep my eyelids for this look. So as you guys saw, these are the two palettes I'm working with today. It's the Milani Most Loved Mattes and the Milani Bold Obsession palettes. They're both very, very beautiful. This is what they look like. And this is the Bold Obsessions palette, and this is the Most Loved Mattes palette. So to start this look, I'm going to go ahead and place some tape on my face so I can create a nice clean look. And the first color I'm going to use out of the Most Loved Mattes palette is Catch a Tan. And so I'm just taking this light tan shade, placing it all over the upper portion of my eyelid and blending it out. Next, I'm going into the shade Hiking in Sedona, and I'm just going to place this shadow on top of that, but I'm focusing it in my crease area, making sure to blend it into that first shade, Catch a Tan, but I'm just making sure that it's nice and deep in my crease area. So next I'm going to go back into that matte palette, and I'm going to take the shade Don't Raisin Your Voice. They have some cute names to these shades, but Don't Raisin Your Voice. And I'm just going to pack that all over my lower lid because I want a dark lid today. Now that I have that complete, I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I want to create a halo eye today. So I'm just placing some of that concealer in the center of my lid. Only in the center, just in preparation for this halo eye. Now I'm going into the Bold Obsessions palette, and I'm taking this shade Sands of Time, which is a very nice light shimmer shade, and I am placing that in the very center of my eyelid, just over that concealer that I placed down, making sure that it's nice and pigmented. Now I'm going to go back into that same palette, and I'm going to take the color Gold Getter, and I'm placing this shimmer shadow on the outer edges of that halo eye, not placing it on top of the first shimmer shade, only on the outer portions of that halo area and the top portion of that halo area. Lastly, I'm going to go into Little Black Dress out of the Bold Obsessions palette, and I'm using that black shade to just gently blend into the edges of that halo area because I want to create some depth and dimension to this look. So I'm just gently tapping it in and blending it into that halo portion so that the blend and transition looks seamless. Now that I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape so that I can move forward with my eyeliner. And I'm just using my Wet n Wild Mega Liner today in the color black, and it's just a regular liquid eyeliner with a brush applicator, and I'm just creating a nice wing for this look. And once I have this eyeliner completed, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of my face, and I'm starting out with my e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer, and I'm just placing that all over my face and rubbing it in before I move on to my foundation. So the foundation I chose for today is my Milani Conceal and Perfect. This is a 2-in-1 foundation, but you know what? I keep forgetting to color correct for some reason. My face just won't let me be great. So I'm going in with this LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color orange, and I'm going to do some color correcting around my mouth and just using a beauty sponge to blend that in before I move on with my foundation. So now I'm going in with that Milani foundation, and I'm going to go ahead and just use a oval brush to blend this into my face and make sure that it's even all over each area of my face. Next, I'm going to go in with this Milani Retouch and Erase, and this is a brightening concealer, and I'm going to be using this to conceal under my eyes as well as to highlight my forehead, nose, and chin area today. And I'm using a small oval brush to just blend that concealer in under my eyes as well as on the other areas of my face that I highlighted. And I just use gentle tapping motions to blend it in as opposed to sweeping motions. I'm also using my Fenty Beauty Matchstick today in the color Espresso. I love this as my contour shade, so I'm just using this to contour my cheeks as well as my forehead, just to get a nice blended look on my face. And once I have that done, I can move on to my Collab Loose Powder. And I'm using this powder just to set those areas that I highlighted and concealed under my eyes as well as my forehead, nose, and chin area. Now I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder, and this is 360 color Mocha, I believe. And I'm just going to gently tap that all over my face to pull this look together. Now I'm going to be using my favorite Milani blush, and this is one of their baked blushes in the color Red Vino. And I'm going to add some colors to my cheek. It adds a really, really nice wine color to any look. The highlighter I'm using today is my Becca highlighter, and this is in the color Prosecco Pop. And I'm just using that to highlight my upper cheek areas as well as my brow bone for this eye look. Now I'm going to go in with my Profusion Black Pencil Liner, and I'm just going to line my lower lash line for this look just to add a little bit more darkness to this eye. Now I'm going back into that Bold Obsessions palette, and I'm taking that color Gold Getter, and I'm placing that in my tear duct area to add a pop of shimmer. I'm taking my Kiss Perfect Profession lip liner, and this is in a deep brown color, or kind of like a brownish plum color, and I'm lining my lips before I use my Milani lipstick, and this is in the color Black Cherry. Very, very beautiful shade, and I'm just placing that all over my lips to pull this look together. But I also need to go back to the eyes because I need to add my mascara, and today I'm going to use my Tarte mascara just to add some volume and length to my lashes. And once I have that complete, then I can go ahead and move forward to set this makeup in place. And of course, I'm going to use my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is my favorite setting spray. I love it. It smells wonderful and it sets my makeup all day. So this is the look that I came up with these wonderful new Milani eyeshadow palettes. I love both of the palettes. The colors are very, very beautiful. The pigments are nice. I didn't have a lot of fallout, and I really, really loved using them. So I hope you guys like them, and I will see you on my next video. So, toodles!
It's something that I've been waiting on for a few days. It didn't take that long to get to me.